Hello and welcome to Akashic Resources podcast episode number 3.
Number 3, where we help people to use their minds more productively to be happier, healthier, and more successful.
Today's topic is community and connectedness.
So the true nature of reality is connectedness. That's what some of our metaphysical teachers taught us, and we understand that to be true from what we know and from all the readings have said. So as we go higher up into mind, so the conscious mind down here, we kind of identify as being separate, and we do, right? I've got my bills, you've got your bills, she's wearing her clothes, I'm wearing my clothes. So we see this separation. At the subconscious level, we know that we're connected, and at the spiritual or superconscious mind level, we are experiencing that oneness.
So we had a beautiful experience this weekend where we went and visited. A lot of you know we studied for a long time at the School of Metaphysics, and that's where we've gotten a lot of our education.
9 years
for 9 years. And so this weekend we went to Windyville, Missouri at the 50th anniversary, and we got to spend time with friends and longtime partners, teachers, all of the good stuff. And we were just like reignited into this idea of living in community, partially because that land is very beautiful.
Right. And we lived there. I lived there for 19 months on 1,500 acres in the middle of nowhere.
And I lived there for 7 or 8 months. I can't remember.
Yeah.
So, and we were just really talking about, well, what does community mean to us, for us? And, we have a beautiful online community that a lot of you are part of, and you've taken classes and even become friends with each other across the country. And that's really wonderful. And what would it be like if we manifested that online community in a physical body or a physical form? And so we've just been talking about that. And it's not just something we desire, I think, and anyone we know has that desire. So we decided to kind of talk about what is that before any steps taken towards it. And Brian, you have some thoughts on what community is?
Well, yeah, we're all part of communities. If you work at a place, sometimes you have that kind of family community feeling. We're all part of families to one extent or another. And we plug into different communities. Maybe, I remember when I was a big golfer, I had kind of a golfing community, I like to fish and camp and stuff. So had a cycling community. So sometimes hobbies will bring us together. And then at certain times, my awakening and doing yoga got me to this School of Metaphysics where we met a lot of people of like mind. And we've got wonderful community here in the Dallas area that's tremendous. There's another community in Fort Worth, and then there's kind of an extended community, and then there's the School of Metaphysics alumni community, and there's all these people we've met through these readings all over the place.
With their communities.
And Chicago's got its, I grew up in St. So you can see how this goes on. And it's just kind of is creating a big circle that includes more and more and more people in meaningful ways.
And it makes me think, you said when you were a golfer, you golfed with other golfers. And I've heard if you want to be a good golfer, you should golf with people that know how to golf, and
better than you are.
Better than you. And in the habit, I can't remember the name of the book now, Atomic Habits, he talks about if you want to build a habit, then join a group that's doing the habit you're doing. So if you want to be a runner, then join a running club. If you want to be an avid reader, join a book club. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So
good advice, right?
Thinking about that and saying, okay, if you want to grow spiritually and you want to develop a still mind and develop inner peace and compassion and understanding and all these qualities and align with Christ consciousness, all of these things, then you want to be with people, around people that want to do the same thing. Yeah. And also not just that, if you want to build sustainable communities,
right, or just
farming,
personal growth. Sometimes I kind of call it spiritual growth, soul growth, and sometimes it's more personal development. It's more like so we teach mind mastery, and it's all levels. It's all important. We have a physical body, we have a brain. So to use your brain at the highest quality is important, but also to get into your mind and to use these spiritual gifts and all this, and bringing it all together to where it makes sense, so that we've got a place where we can be fed spiritually, but also sustainable land where we can produce the highest quality food, because that's awesome. And it's a wonderful, sustain all of that stuff. And we've got a not-for-profit that's getting ready to launch and all of that. And places where people can live, or at least live part of the year in the beauty of nature, and experience this and take care of cattle, and live in a community
and be able
of
to
choice.
slow down too.
Right.
And experience the present moment, because sometimes when you're living
paycheck to paycheck,
or just living in the city or living in a suburb, and you're kind of like siloed, then you kind of have to, you have more tasks to do because you have, all of them are under your responsibility. But when you live in a community, you can kind of share some of those resources.
Right. The Amish are a great example of that. So if you're in an Amish community and your house burns down, for God's sakes, within 2 weeks, maybe within 1 week, the whole community gathers together. They build you a house right there. It's amazing. The women are all cooking food, and they got these tables with food, and the guys are all, and since you live there, you just bring your tools right over, and you're going to town. And if they need an auto mechanic in that community, they train a young man or woman to be an auto mechanic. And if they need, whatever it is they need, they develop it from within. So the community is always feeding the community and strengthening the community. And that's the vision that we have, is that we've got, Reiki healers and massage therapists and people that can do the readings like we do, and, master gardeners and aquaponics experts and animal husbandry, somebody that's, a cow whisperer, and all these things coming together. I think it would be awesome to have somebody that has sheep that knew how to, get the wool and then make blankets and clothing and out of that natural wool,
and then maybe sell that stuff and return it back to create more prosperity.
I've had the idea. I'm going to share this is going a little bit far, but I've had the idea of having a sustainable farm where you have the highest quality animals of whatever that is, the highest quality cows, the highest quality pigs, sheep, chickens, all of that stuff. So there's a neighbor at the to the School of Metaphysics property up there in Missouri, and he has the nicest Belgian draft horses in the world. And I heard a woman while we were up there for this reunion, she's big into horses, and she has horses, and she was saying that he won all of the awards. They went around the Midwest, and they do like horse pulls, kind of like tractor pulls, and he won every competition they entered. He's got the highest, and when you look at these animals, they're gorgeous. They're the highest quality. So just the highest quality food, the basil, the tomatoes, everything we do to the highest quality.
And so that's exciting. So what is the call to action, or what can one do?
Well, we're putting together plans. We've got, and it makes sense from a strictly business standpoint. I mean, I've got an MBA, and I was a real estate investor for many years, still am, I guess. We invested in this place, and but it makes sense from a financial place. It makes sense from a spiritual place. It makes sense from, trying to get by, to come together, partnership, teamwork, working together to create the prosperity and abundance that we want, to create the community that we want. So I encourage anybody that's got an idea. We've got people around the country in several cities right now trying to group together with other business people, maybe a yoga and a Reiki instructor, coupling with a massage therapist and maybe a coach and a breathing expert, to come together and purchase a property and create a destination. I'll come up there and I'll build a salt cave in there, and we'll help. We'll come around there, do meetings. Maybe a sensory. I could do the salt cave easier, but I will do my homework and I'll build you a sensory deprivation tank. So on the hook for that one. Anyway, but yeah, we want to come together. People that want to buy land, even if it's, let's get together, buy 5 acres. And you can live there, and it's right outside of a big city. And then let's put some animals on there. Let's put some intensive farming, some greenhouses, and let's create a business getting food together and feeding the city in some healthy ways.
And just to kind of bring it to even simplifying it even more, is just, sometimes I feel that when there's big visions like that, and I'm not seeing the exact next step for me because of maybe conditions of my life or just what's going on, is to know the universal truth in creation, which is whatever you want to, and Abraham Hicks talks about this Jerry and Abraham they talk about this a lot, and I'm just using my words to say, whatever you want, you have to vibrationally align with it. And what does it mean to vibrationally align with something? It's not just increasing your vibration and feeling happy. That is an aspect of it, but it's the all levels of mind, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, lining up with it. What does that look like for you? It could be in your daily meditations and prayers, putting that in as, give me the guidance, or I'm open to receiving the next steps of what this looks like. Yeah. That's more of on a spiritual level. On a mental level, it's maybe visualizing and imagining what you would be doing a part in that community. Would you be making leather shoes, or, teaching?
I'll take
teaching gardening, or working with the little kids, or doing ecstatic dance. What is your part in that? And then emotionally, that's more of like the Jerry and Esther Hicks piece of it, is which is like, what is it? What would you feel when you were in that community? Are you laughing? Are you joyful? Of course, like that's not your entire state, but just kind of aligning with that. And then the physical would be taking steps. So maybe you want to learn how to can while you live in that community. Well, maybe this
build tiny houses.
Build out. So maybe this fall you can or you can do something that's aligned with that. Maybe you'll get together
making kombucha. We got some friends that make some incredible kombucha. So
taking those kind of like more of the physical steps, because all of those create that inner alignment. And then if everyone's doing that, like let's say 200 people do this, then it just becomes that much easier for it to happen.
So we're all sort of preparing ourselves for the moment where we can plug into a beautiful piece of property and say, here's what I've been studying, here's what I can bring to the table. And that'll be a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Beautiful thing to
do. If you've got some ideas, if you've got some thoughts, if you've got some desires, connect with us. And wherever you are, chances are we know somebody else in your area that might have similar thoughts and desires. And we want to get these people together, and we want to create destinations. So we want you to create a sustainable community up in Chicago and over in Phoenix and over in Asheville, North Carolina, so that we can go around and spend a month here and spend a month there with our friends. So awesome. So connect and let's create community.
Connection.
So have a great day. Thanks a bunch. Bye.